I am actually from a town right outside of Miami. So you can see the background. That's a fake screen AI developed. But I do live close to the ocean. And it's about, let's see, it's 9:03 in the morning. And it is a beautiful day today. It's going to be hot. We already have a heat advisory for today. So if you guys could all turn in, if it's possible, please turn on your camera so we can see your beautiful faces.
Yes, don't be shy. Just turn off your camera if you're able to.
All right.
And I can see in the chat we have people from all different countries. I see from Egypt, where it's foreign, it's very sunny. Kazakhstan, where it's a bit cloudy, and in Taiwan, it's raining. So Romania, also raining.
Can I tell you? So just as we're waiting, Louisa, I'll just have a little conversation with them. I have been with X Culture, let's see, since 2011. And then I was I started working with the board about 2013. And then I managed the first Global X Culture in 2017, but it was in development since 2015. But before that, I was always contributing significantly to the Academy of International Business Southeast, where X Culture is really honed at the academic level. And you guys know that Academy came about I want to say about 2017, 2018. I remember Dr. Voss and I having a conversation. I actually named Academy. He called it X Culture for Kids, and I'm like, you've got to change that name. They're not kids. And some of them, are like 17, 18. Like, let's call it Academy. So if you guys ever have a chance to ask him that question. And I remember I was basically Louisa in the beginning. And then eventually, of course, as we grew, we were able to elevate ambassadors. As our ambassadors started to mature, we were able to elevate our ambassadors. So first it was what was his name? He was out of the Ukraine, and then eventually, as you guys know, it was Rafael Tamashiro out of Brazil. And now we've got our leads, and you know who they are: Leon Maspero, Louis from South Africa, Louisa from the Netherlands, Ankit from India, other ambassadors. What I really love about Academy is the global reach that we have. And I remember being a kid in the Philippine Islands, and it was always such an amazing thing to be able to speak to other people from other countries. And I mean, I'm from the Philippines, so very poor, lack of resources. So for me to be able to speak to people in the United States, for example, or in Europe, it was such a surreal experience, because it was just like, it was a distant location that I would never, in my 10-year-old head, was never going to get to, And of course now, I'm a professor. I'm the academic program coordinator for the largest program in my university, the International Business Program. I'm also the program director for Global X Culture. Ankit was with me last summer in Thailand. Louisa was with me the summer before that in Poland. And you guys will probably be in one of those future conferences as well. What I really, really appreciate about the platform that we've created for you, and trust me when I say that your leadership, and I'm talking about Dr. Voss, myself, Dr. Tim Muth, who creates all of the challenge companies for you. Karen Linden, who teaches your faculty members, who leads all of your ambassadors. We've been able to create, I mean, we don't have like a building. What we have is an opportunity. And we've been able to create this opportunity for you guys to have friends all over the world, to have conversation with people with different mindsets from all over the world, to be able to do, I don't know, are you guys still doing the virtual tours?
We have different kinds of activities we do also after week on campus, where we can share.
So this program, because I helped grow it in a way that I wanted to create a fun place to be. Again, we don't have an infrastructure. What we have is an opportunity where I remember Leon. Oh no, let me talk about Louisa. I'm going to say, Louisa, you must have been 16 or 17 at the time. You were in high school.
Yeah, 17.
And Louisa took us through the old town of her neighborhood. And she showed us things like, you see this little sign above this building? This was from the Middle Ages, and now it's the Gap. Do you remember that, Louisa?
Yeah.
And like, you guys really get to live through other people's eyes just by seeing what people are doing in other countries. And what does that do for you? Well, it educates you. It opens up your mind. It allows your mind to wander outside the parameters of what your local environment has placed upon you. It doesn't have to be this way. You are not bounded by the geographic location where you are. Remember, I come from an impoverished third world country location. And now I kind of live near Miami Beach by choice. And again, I come from a third world country where women do not graduate from high school. I am the first in my family to get a PhD. Well, actually, I'm the first in my family to get a college education. So I'm saying this to you because as Academy, you've already pre-selected yourself to become something beyond what most people have the capacity to imagine. And all you have to do is move forward a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, move forward, right? And eventually you'll arrive at destination and you'll look back and you'll say, I cannot believe that I journeyed all that. I say that to myself. From where I came from to where I am today, I am so grateful, so grateful, so grateful for all of my experience, so grateful for all of the people I met along the way, so grateful for all the people who held me up, and even grateful for the people who disappointed me because they taught me something, right? So your journey from birth to death is all about the choices you make. And that journey takes you places where you can't even imagine. Okay? So can I, Louise, I know that we're gonna do a lecture, but you guys have a window where you're gonna have me put in there, right?
Yes, I have a little bit of administrative stuff about the payments. I'm gonna explain some things, and afterwards you can go, and then we'll end with some questions.
Okay, perfect.
Can you see my screen, everybody? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you already heard a little bit about our Academy Director, Dr. Bieber, but we're gonna give her more time because she's gonna present a talk for us about team formations. But first, I know you guys had some questions about the payments and the stipends. Should be this slide. Okay. Yes. So the payment deadline will be October 5th, and the payments can start being made from next week. You can find the invoice in your acceptance letter. However, we're gonna be resending them if you can't find them, but you can also find them like at the bottom of your original assignment letter. If you select it, you need a stipend. We will send you a form with the documents you need to submit. So that will be 2 recommendation letters and also a school transcript with your grades, or if you're already in university from that. And then in the invoice, there is also a payment link that you can use to do that. If you have any issues, please send us an email at academy@xculture.org. And also, as you already know, in Canvas, you can also find org contact info in the Start Here page. If you're ever lost, just go there and there you can find it. Okay, so now I think we can go ahead and allow the floor to Dr. Leilani Boumanis, who is our lovely Academy Director, who is going to present a special talk for you about team formation. So I think you already introduced yourself a little bit, but if you want to share your screen, let me just check that you're able to. Oh, Dr. B, you're still muted.
Yeah, I don't have slides. I have a lecture. Anymore, people are moving away from slides. That doesn't forgive you guys actually from not learning to make one, okay? But at the TED Talk level, for example, a lot of people just articulate one-on-one with you, which is kind of like my style now. I'll do the slides only for academic purposes, but anyway, make sure that when you have to do your slides, do it. But I want to talk to you guys about what is to come in the next, let's just say 2 to 3 weeks, okay? So as you guys know, I'm a university professor. I teach X-Culture at the undergraduate and the graduate level. 2 different ways that I teach it. At the undergraduate level, I teach students how to use business models, right? So of course, you guys are all going to get a glimpse of all of these business models, not as in-depth as you will get it at the university, but things like SWOT, the pestle analysis, the Porter's 5 forces, the marketing plans. Those are all business models that we use to create business solutions. At the graduate level, I teach communications and negotiations. Now, understand that all of my graduate students have gone through business school and they know all the business models, but what they haven't learned is how to communicate and negotiate at the business level with people from other countries, or that not that they haven't learned it, but they haven't practiced it. And this is where you come in. So when Academy was created, again, it was the concept of like teaching kids how to do business models. But as I became more and more involved in Academy, what I realized was that you guys were learning how to communicate in a way that as you become older, it's much more difficult to do. Louisa will tell you that she joined Academy so she could improve her English before she went to to the university. Okay. Shy Louisa, so sweet, but like did not want to speak in English. And I was like, Louisa, speak, because it's all about communications. And now she's running our programs while she's at university. So what I want to tell you about where you are right now in your academic career, because if you're in high school, expect, if you plan on going to university, baseline another 4 years. If you're going to do grad school, another 2 years after that. And if you're going to go do a PhD, another 2 years after that. So you may potentially have 10 to 12 more years ahead of you if you plan to do a profession in academia. Okay, So, but let's just say that, you know, the majority of the world go out and get a 4-year degree. Okay. So, and let's just say that you're in the 10th grade in high school. So that's 6 more years of your life. And what you really need to know is in the next 6 years, you will meet outside of your family people who will probably be a part of your life for the rest of your life. Are you listening to me? You will meet people who are not a part of your family, who will become a part of your life for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying it's limited to that, but what I'm saying is it's that stage in your life where you're going to meet high school friends that they're going to be your high school buddies, or your college friends who are going to be your college friends for life, or you might even meet a life partner. So at X Culture, you've got to lead on that. And you're meeting people from all over the world who may become lifelong friends. Leon and Louisa are very good friends, very good friends. Have you guys ever met in person?
Yes, we traveled for a month together this summer, but but that's like the first time. We've been friends for like years, and we only met for the first time this summer.
You see what I mean? And by the way, Leon joined Academy as a, God, she's not here, so I might be misspeaking, but I think she was 14. I think she was 14. She was one of the younger ones. And now Leon is probably 21, right? So again, the way that you choose your friends and your family, or your friends that are family, it's going to happen in the next 8 years, 6 to 8 years, let's say. Okay, but I want to talk to you guys about team building, because after you finish your theoretical phase, right, you've got 1 more week and then you're going to take a break. And the break changes from time to time. How long is the break this time, Louisa? Is it 1 week?
Yes, it's 1 week this time.
Okay. So you've got 1 more week of theoretical phase, right? Where you're doing self-study and you're completing all of your tasks in a timely manner. That's a part of the test. Then you have 1 week to make a payment or to submit for your subsidies, right? And that takes a little bit of a challenge as well. And then you're going to be placed in teams. So once you get placed in teams, you're going to be in a team of 4 or 5 people, and they are going to come from all over the world. So you will not be put in a team with a person from your same country. What will happen is you'll go through this thing called the 5 stages of teams, okay? And in the first stage, it's called the forming stage. We do that for you. You don't get to pick who gets to be on your team, nor will you get to pick who's going to be your classmate when you go to college, nor do you get to pick who's going to be sitting next to you when you go to work at work. Okay, even if your father owns the business, you still don't get to pick who's going to be sitting next to you when you get out of university to go to work. Okay, so that's just life. You don't get to pick who gets to journey with you, but what you do get to pick is the way that the relationship grows. Okay, so the first phase is the forming phase. We do that for you. The second phase is the storming phase. And this will set kind of like, let's just say, the unspoken rule of how the relationship will grow. And this is where you have to make an intentional decision as to how you're going to present yourself and how you're going to receive others. So it's called the storming stage because in the business world, you're actually jockeying for position, right? You're going to say like, hey, I'm a better writer. I would like to be the lead writer. Hey, I'm a better researcher. I would like to be the lead researcher. And what if somebody else wants to be that on the team? All of a sudden, you're jockeying for position, and they call that the storming stage. I know that it sounds a little bit of a violent term for it, but it really doesn't need to be that way. What I want you to do is learn how to negotiate, because for the rest of your life, communications and negotiations are the magic tools. If you refine your skills in that, those are the magic tools that will help you along in your journey. And you guys, Like, I'm at a stage in my life where I can be retiring soon, and I'm still learning that. Every day I'm still learning that. I'm going to tell you a secret. We had a meeting yesterday with Dr. Voss, and I'm sure I said something very inappropriate to him. And I told him, I'm like, you can fire me now if you would like. In fact, I said, you know what? I'll fire myself for you. Again, I mean, we have such a strong friendship that we've been able to develop that, right? And of course, he talked me down, but I was so heated and passionate about a topic that I thought, you know what? I said the F word. I'm like, F it, And then all of a sudden I'm like, oops, that's probably inappropriate of me. See, I'm still learning, right? I'm still learning. Okay, so that's a storming stage. That's going to happen. Get ready for it, okay? Get set up, get ready for it, decide as to how you're going to respond to your situation. And once you get through the other side of the storm, the storming stage, everything will become norming, right? And they call that the norming stage. Once you're in the norming stage, everybody calms down. Everybody kind of like sits in their seats. And once you've got butts in seats, everybody's kind of like in a team mode. That's when you start what we call performing stage. You want to be at the performing stage at the majority of the time where you're together, because that's where the work gets done. Now at X Culture, we've also done that work for you, because in every challenge, and I'm sure you guys have not gotten to see your challenges yet, but when you do, I want you to really read your challenge, because in every challenge, we tell you what the company wants, and we tell you when you have to deliver it. So you actually already have your marching orders. But as a team, and this is why it's very important for you to go through that storming stage and that norming stage, because as a team in that performing stage, you will suddenly become a unit. You'll be one team working together to meet those guidelines, to meet those obstacles, those requirements, and you will lean on each other. And it's in that leaning of each other that you learn trust, that you build friendships, that you go for a month, like Louisa says, and travel with one of your best friends that you met years and years ago. It's got to be 5 years ago, because I remember meeting the both of you. And those are the kind of life experiences that you need to grow your talent and your skills. See, what we offer you in X Culture, people cannot earn at the university. You can't buy it. You have to actually go through it and experience it. And that's why we call it a learning opportunity, right? Active learning is how we teach you how to do life in the business world with all of the skills and talents that you learn along the way. Okay, so you're performing. You're doing that for a solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Remember, this is an 8-week window once you become placed in teams, right? So in 6, 7 weeks, you go from start to delivery. You go from one section at a time. You'll have 3 sections, one section at a time, then you'll have a draft, and then you'll have a final draft, and then you'll have a presentation, right? In that journey, as you go through it together as a team, eventually, all of you guys will identify different talents that you have built along the way because you leaned on each other. And then hopefully when you reach that adjourning stage, again, it's forming, storming, norming, performing the longest time, and then that adjourning stage, right? Hopefully that adjourning stage is a very short and quick time frame, because again, the intention is for you guys to keep some of the people that you meet along the way. Now, you're not going to keep everybody. Some people are just not going to jive with your personality. But at the same time, when you make a connection, they call that a kismet. And when you find a friend, I want you guys to really treasure that, because every once in a while, the universe smiles upon you and places people in your path that you can't imagine what your life would have been like without them in it. And when you find that person, you hold on to them. Got that? Yes? Are you guys all listening? I don't see anybody nodding their head.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yes.
Okay, I know you're awake now. Okay, so let's go back. You're going to get placed in teams. After this week, there's going to be a break, and then you're going to be placed in teams. Make sure that in that first week, then this, I need you to make a note. Somebody write this down in this video. Make sure that you make this note. Louisa, I want you to remind everybody this as soon as, you guys place them on teams, okay? In that first week, you need to make a video call with all of your teammates. Make the move to set it up. And if there's more than 2 of you guys, or even 3 of you guys who decide, oh, let's set it up together, even the better. Okay. In that very first week, make a team video call. Also in that very first week, there is an optional assignment that Dr. Taraz put up in the website. You'll see it once your challenge company is open to you. It's called the Charter. And there's actually a 1-hour lecture from one of our ex-culture professors who's well-versed in creating teams and charters. He gives a 1-hour lecture on that. Go ahead and watch it. I watched it a while ago. I didn't learn much from it, but because I run teams. But for you guys, it's a perfect opportunity to learn about charters and teams, okay? So I want you to create a charter with your team. And in that charter, I want you to develop a communications plan. I want you to find the sweet spot time zone. And when I say the sweet spot time zone, imagine, like I have a student right now. I'm teaching her, and she comes from her heritage is Haitian. So she's the first generation Haitian to come to the university in Florida, Eastern time zone, right? Her teammates are in Colombia, Saudi Arabia, Australia, and India. And they all think that she's American. And here she is, she's Haitian studying at an American university. There's not one native, well, the Australian, no, but even the Australian is from Hong Kong. So imagine the reach, global reach that her team has, but at the same time, they also have challenges, right? Because their time zone is different. Oh, I mean, it's like 13 hours different. And then not one of them speaks native English. All of them speak a different language, but have to work in native English. So create a communications plan and then find that sweet spot time zone. And that last thing is communicate, because it's in that communication that you're going to learn about each other's cultures, each other's traditions. Share things like, hey, what was your favorite food growing up? Hey, what places in the world have you visited? And do you have any pictures to show us? What was the most amazing thing that you got to do this past summer? I got to go, you guys, I'm from the Philippine Islands. I have not been back to Asia since I was 10 years old. I've been all over Europe, South America, the Caribbean, but I have not been back to Asia since I was 10 years old. I got to go to Laos, to the World Heritage City, Siem Reap, and I got to go to Cambodia, to Angkor Wat, and I got to see the beautiful, I'm sorry, Laos is Luang Prabang, and Cambodia is Siem Reap. And I got to see the most amazing World Heritage sites from the 900 AD. It was built 800 AD. So 9th century is 800 AD, right? I was like, I cannot believe that civilization was this advanced at 800, 900, 1,000 years AD. And you guys, it was, right? It's just that a lot of that was lost because we didn't communicate. So, other than that, I think the most important thing in your experience, in your teams, I want you to learn, this is the last thing I want you to write down, conflict resolution. I want you to understand how to work together to meet your deliverable deadlines. That's really a part of the journey. In active learning, you can write the most amazing things. If you don't turn it in on time, it's late. Okay? So make sure that you are turning in your deliverables on time. And then, of course, you guys know that this is a peer evaluated activity, right? And eventually, those peer evaluations will surface because we only invite the top 20%, the top 20% of Academy, let's just say certificate recipients, okay? And we don't just measure the paper. We also measure team performance. We measure individual peer evaluations. Of course, the quality of work is measured, right? And we will send you an invitation to apply. Invitation to apply to come to Global X Culture. And we are about this far to signing for 2025. We are going to have a global announcement on October 27. There's going to be a video. So please watch out for that. You may want to come with us. Eventually, as you go to university, you're going to want to journey with us as Louisa, Leon, and Ankit. Are you still in high school or are you in university now?
I'm in university, second year.
Okay. So, but you've been with us a while as well.
Yeah, since 2020.
So you were what, 10th grade?
Yeah, I just graduated 10th grade at the time.
Yeah. So these students are journeying now what you and Louisa went through. Yeah, it's incredible. I really love Academy. It's an amazing program. Okay, so I am done with my lecture. I hope that you guys got something from that.
Thank you so much, Dr. B, for that amazing talk. And I hope students really paid close attention to it. But we're recording it, and we will also send you the recording so that you can watch it one more time and that you can really take in all the points. And as she said, that you really have like a video meeting in the first week. And once again, in our training modules, we also discuss all the tools you can use to like schedule within time zones to make it easier for you. So now we'll move on to questions. I think first, oh, Dr. B, are you saying so?
Well, I don't know. Julia, do you have a question for me? Okay, you want to unmute yourself?
Sorry, this was the only place available for me to go in the meeting, so it might be a bit loud. But
it's fine.
Sorry about that, but where can we access all of these videos? You're talking about the documentary that was very interesting and joining in on the forum, like listening. I'm very interested.
So you're going to get access to the website as soon as, do they have access now, Louisa, or do we wait for them to get on Teams?
We are using Canvas, but we're releasing the videos appropriate to the phase they are in. So
Okay.
some of them will, for the practical phase, we will release more of those videos as well.
Yeah. So for example, Julia, my students didn't get it until they were placed in Teams. But that's because for me, my students are required to do a charter. And when you guys get placed on Teams, you'll get the access to the challenge company. And then it'll also say like the deadlines, the deliverables. Underneath, somewhere around there, it'll say optional video charter. So that's the one that has a lecture, one of the professors in an American university that talks about the value of creating a charter.
Sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, we're releasing like all the modules at the different stages because like I remember from when I was also in academy, it can be very overwhelming the first time. So we're also scheduling some of the modules and extra materials at the time you will need them so that you can like watch everything. But like all the materials Dr. B mentioned, you will have access to them at the point you actually need them. Okay, so first, are there any more questions for Dr. B? Because otherwise we can move into the questions about Academy. And if Dr. B wants, she is then free to so leave because she's also very busy, probably on Saturday morning.
I have a meeting with Professor Linden as soon as I'm done with this meeting. She's like, okay, do that meeting, then call me. So I'm here. If you need any question at all that you have for me, I'm here. So anybody? Going? Okay. It was a real pleasure to see everybody. I'm super excited for you. I hope that you get the opportunity to really do make good friends, to get to virtually visit people's, hometowns, old towns, get to meet their family pets, and eventually you create great friends that will last a lifetime. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much,
Bye,
Dr. B.
everybody.
Have a nice
My
day.
pleasure. My
Bye.
pleasure.
Okay. So are there now like any questions about what you're currently working on? Any issues that you need help with? If you have any like personal issues,
Yeah, I have a question.
we can also, if they're personal problems, you can also email, but if they're general, you can ask them right now if they're all. Go ahead if you want to say something.
Okay, I paid the tuition fees, all right, and it was like 106, and I got a stipend like $150, so I paid 106, and I sent to the academy email. So is that all right or not?
Yes, that's all right if you paid and you sent, but the payment deadline is October 5th, so we'll be officially like sending all the letters for the payments also this week. So if you
Okay,
haven't received something about that,
I got. I received the acceptance letter, and then
yes,
in the acceptance letter concluded the payment, and I got the payment link and I paid it. Is that all right?
yes, that's all right. If you like pass all the exams as well, everything will be okay. And yeah, thank you also for sending the receipt. That can also help us with checking.
Thank you so much.
Ankit, if you can also help me like look in the chat if there are like any questions there. But and if any other questions, feel free to also just raise your hands and speak up. Yes, Lara.
I have
Go.
a question regarding to how do we know when we pass each week, like the exam? Because I'm confused with the Canvas app and the
Okay. So for week 1, we had closed questions, so you could see what your score was, and you need 80% to pass. For week 2 and the following weeks, we also have open questions. So we will also grade that. And then afterwards, you will see how many points you have, and you need 80% to pass all the exams. And you have 2 times to take the exam.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So maybe just to clarify, as I get some messages about that, we're not able to put you in a specific team upon request. Because we really want you to work in a global virtual team and to meet as many persons as possible. Of course, I understand I'm also a uni student. like you want to be in a team with your friends also. I understand that. However, it's really the learning experience is also in meeting new people and learning how to work with them, learning how to work with people from different cultures and different styles. So that's also why we don't match you with a friend. So we're not able to process those requests as we do randomly allocate, but we take into account that you're with somebody with a similar age and that there is as much diversity in the countries and cultures you guys are from. Okay. Any further questions or comments? Somebody wants to say something about how are you defining the program so far? And kids, if you had one piece of advice you can give to the students, something you would have wished you know when you started out as a student, what would that be?
Will be the communications, like when you create a team, members, emails ID, introduce yourself, then get connected to the social media, like have a common platform to talk, like a group, WhatsApp group or Slack or anything which you find comfortable. Have a weekly meeting, be open, don't hide anything, and communicate, communicate, communicate. Yeah, that's all.
I agree with that. Communicate. Okay. So, I'm gonna ask one last time if there are any questions. I guess some of you might be shy. So, as I said, if you have any like other issues, please also email us. Because otherwise, what we're gonna do is end the meeting. I will then stop recording, and if you have any question, you can also stay back. And I wish you a very good week of that. Oh, I see one more raised hand. Go ahead.
Yes, hello. I wanted to ask how to make a payment for the program. I had an email, but when I filled the form, I don't know, is it right or not?
If you have like any issues with the payment not going through, maybe just send an email and explain that. I think that's better to help you if there's like a specific problem, but you can use the link. One thing that might be important to mention is if you are part of a cohort, so you have a teacher, which this is just a general thing, then it will show that the amount you will probably not have received an acceptance letter individually. And also the fee will be paid by the school directly. So if you don't receive that and you're part of a cohort, no, that's normal. So that's just general. Any other questions I can help with? Well, if not, have a great week. Don't forget to finish Model 2. And then on Monday, we will open Model 3 for you guys. And have a great week. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Looking forward to also starting the practical phase soon. And please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you so much.